It's the National Football League on EA Sports, where we'll see a brawl inside the AFC North. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. All that and more coming up next.
At the confluence of the three rivers, the Ohio, the Allegheny, and the Monongahela, we are here at Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Evan McPherson has this one teed up. And with the terrible towels waving wildly, we are underway from Pittsburgh. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
13 yards on the game's opening play. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved, able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says our guy is better than your guys. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right,
shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And he makes it all the way down to the 19. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 43 yards.
And this offense has come out swinging here in the early going. They pick up a nice chunk on that pitch and catch. And the two of them have this offense moving in the right direction to start this game.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the gun, it's Rodgers. That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it. Not quite the success they had last play. This one goes for 3 yards. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball. And sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. They came with a safety blitz, and Daxton Hill got home. And that sack there, that likely brings out the field goal unit, so they might have to settle for 3 here on their opening drive.
They did some nice things, getting things started there, moving the ball downfield, but taking that sack on 3rd down, that lets the air out of the momentum balloon just a little bit.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This will be, 38 yards out. Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. I think we can safely say they came out to be aggressive on the opening series, Charles. They didn't run the ball once. All that passing, it does get them the 3-0 lead.
I think what we saw there, partner, was a true definition of football balance, which means doing what you want to when you want to on offense. And in this case, it was throwing the football. They may mix in running the football a little bit more as this game goes on. But this opening drive, while it stalled out, it still gave them 3 points.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. And they'll begin here with a run by Brown. He'll get this to about the 38.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now it's 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. And Chase will go in motion left. Here's Burrow. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Throwing is Rodgers. Got his man. It's Warren. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Rodgers going to throw. He'll get this complete to Calvin Austin. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a 1st down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. It's caught. Smith. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Bengals grab it. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know that there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are. Yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
McPherson's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. And last time they coughed it up. Led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though? When they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Oren Burks. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
The Bengals offense getting set and ready to go again here. They'll have very good starting field position here as they try to break our tie, and they start 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Burrow on play action. This one complete to Yoshibas. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Eluding the pressure right. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Burrow on his toes that time as they get the 1st down.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
They snapped that at 1. Now it's Burrow. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, Brandon, we see why it's a team game there, because there's a sigh of relief that they just released defensively. If he's able to get that one away, that's likely a touchdown. But instead, that pressure from the front got to him and forced the incompletion.
You're right. He had him open, just a split second too late on the release. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chipping. McPherson's kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
So all field goals so far, 6-3 our score as the kick is away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. Up the middle they go. Warren. A gain of 5. Good enough for the first down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren, and he'll get this up to about the 40. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Now Rodgers. Complete. Smith has it. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. His 4th catch already in this first quarter. It's a 1st down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Out on the edge, you love to have cornerbacks like that can bring him down in the run game.
And you're also exposed to everyone. It really becomes a one-on-one play, doesn't it? You're out there by yourself on the edge. The best ones know how to make the play, and we just saw an example of it right there.
Short throw to Smith. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Now it's Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 23. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on first down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
2nd down and 6 now.
Up the middle they go. It's Warren, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Six-3 is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Here's Rodgers.
Throwing for Smith on the out route, and it's caught.
And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, Rodgers. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. Here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Boswell's kick is good, and that will tie things up at 6-6. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
So back even at 6 apiece as the kick's away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. And out now, here come the Bengals. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offense coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe someday to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Now 2nd and 9. Right back to Brown. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down. They went counter there offensively, and a couple of defenders were on skates for a second.
They certainly were, and you know what offensive linemen love about the counters and the misdirections? Sometimes you don't even have to block the defender. He can run himself out of the play if he doesn't read his keys properly.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And we got a pause following the play because it appears a member of the Bengals in some discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Second down and 8.
Burrow will throw. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down.
There's your co-NFL record holder, T.J. Watt, doing what he does best, terrorizing quarterbacks.
One of the league's best linebackers, he ended that play almost before it began, and the running back absolutely overmatched no matter what he tried to do.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
Back to throw here. Got a man. It's Brown.
They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. On play action, it's Rodgers. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, remember, he had the interception earlier. Now he adds the sack. He's really making his presence felt out there.
Oh, he is putting together a heck of a game. In fact, he's going to bump these plays to his highlight reel. Okay, so when he wants to show it off later on, look what I did out there, guys. In this offense, they've got to start paying him a little special attention. He's like a good basketball player, putting stats in every column.
And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. 9 yards on the pickup, but even after that, they're left with a 3rd and very long.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out, and this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
4 sacks and a safety already. If you gave your coach those numbers in an entire game, he'd be ecstatic. Getting that type of production in less than a half of football, that goes beyond anything they expected coming in.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. And that flag accepted. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Burrow looking to pass. Man open, that's Jamar Chase, complete. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Nothing flashy there, the slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play, and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch, and then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
Running right, here's Brown. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him. Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They go play action with Burrow. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. 4th down. Here's Joe Burrow. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Now it looks like we're going to get a stoppage here. An injured Steeler on that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. So a big play there on 4th, and now 1st and 10 at the 30. Play action. It's Burrow. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
There are not many times where you might say it's a detriment to have a quarterback with a cannon for an arm, but this might be one of those few times. He just laid that one out there a bit too far, and his receiver couldn't run under it.
In motion, the tight end. And they go play action now. Burrow. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so, because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Jalen Ramsey with a sack on the corner blitz.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. Second and manageable became third and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a third and long after that sack we just saw. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. T. Higgins, 50 yards. And the Bengals are able to add on to that lead.
Well, that's what I call an answer right there. They gave up a sack on the previous play. How about what they did to finish things off, turning it right back around?
That's the response, and that O-line feels a lot better now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt, because give up the sack on the previous play, that just hurts those guys because they never want to see their guy get hit.
And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Evan McPherson for the extra point. He's got it, and the lead moves to 15-6. So that drive goes a full 80 yards in 10 plays. And it was T. Higgins who capped the drive with the touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Rodgers. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
To throw, it's Rodgers. He's got Smith here. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up second down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
From just shy of midfield, here's 2nd and 3. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren, and he will have a Steelers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Rodgers going to throw. Short throw to Smith. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Throwing now is Rodgers. That's caught. It's Austin left side. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
On first down, Warren. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Throwing is Rodgers. And that one going to come up short. Low throw. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And he's going to be marked down short of the first down, right around the 17. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, this from 34. Boswell's kick is good, and that'll move him back within 6 now. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. T. Higgins leading the Cincinnati receiving corps out for this upcoming series.
He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now Burrow. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
He has just not had his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
That was simply snap, rock, and fire. I mean, they didn't take long at all. Slant route, and I loved where he put it. He put on the body of the receiver low so that only he can catch it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magical formula there. Defensively, that's just tough to defend.
Very much so. And that way it allows the receiver to keep his body in front of the defender and not allow him to go through him to knock the ball away.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Two yards to go, 2nd down. Here's Burrow. This one complete to Yoshivas. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Now it's Burrow. Open man is Chase, complete. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. And Burrow going to throw again. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Call that a very strong gain of 24. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. McPherson's kick is good, and that will make this a 9-point lead. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward. Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Now it's Burrow. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
So a penalty that can frustrate a coach so much, a mental error, and it'll back him up 5 yards.
Still second down.
So the delay of game penalty moves it back 5. That makes it 2nd and 10. They're passing here. Joe Burrow into space at the 45 and all the way up to the 46. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and now we've got a 3rd and 4. In motion comes the tight end left. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. That is caught, and he is going to have a Bengals first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Burrow will throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll make it 2nd down. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Again, it's Burrow. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Linebacker Patrick Queen bringing him down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Burrow. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Steelers are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The home team's offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities. And this is a good one right in front of them.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and a yard. Now a run with Warren. Busts through the tackle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They run the counter. It's Warren, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Here's Rodgers. Austin's got it left side. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 40. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Up the middle they go. Warren. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Now Rodgers. Got his man. It's Warren. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath. hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Warren. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Rodgers now to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. First down marker at the 5. It's 2nd and goal. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal.
Some good strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. Play clock all the way to 0. Didn't get the snap off. 5-yard penalty.
And you see the head coach writing that note on his play sheet right now. He's going to be addressing that with his staff. A sense of urgency. Get to the line of scrimmage. Snap the ball.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Throwing is Rodgers. Incomplete.
Boy, that was lockdown coverage there. He's scanning for someone to come open. But that was great work to blanket everyone. And in the end, he's just got to throw it away.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? To throw, it's Rodgers. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And the lead is down to 2. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And it ends with a Robert Woods touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They defer to Brown to start the drive. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, the great coach has said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Up the middle they go. Warren. And he will have a Steelers 1st down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Score that tackle for loss to the Wyoming alumnus, Logan Wilson.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Woods. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Short throw to Smith. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. His big game continues. 10 catches now and another first down.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Warren. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
A 5-yard pass on the heels of a 5-yard run. Good enough for the first. Up the middle they go. Warren. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And the question now, can they get closer on 3rd down? A field goal from here, you're looking at right about a 52-yarder. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 23. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
They'll run on first down. Warren. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. 2nd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
2nd and 6. To throw is Rodgers. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. Now, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Rodgers to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Woods. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
He's got some room to operate. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just did the tip of the ball across the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal. Warren. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
Boswell for the extra point. And the lead is up to 5. And what a drive that was. 16 plays all told. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Now a short one to Gesicki. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And he fends him off. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Cameron Hayward able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. This is Brown going up the middle. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And this is going to be incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped the pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Throwing now is Rodgers. He'll let it fly for Austin. It's caught inside the 25. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 65 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Rodgers going to throw. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Now it's Rodgers. Touchdown! Calvin Austin, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers will add to their 4th quarter lead. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Extra point now by Boswell. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And in the end, a Calvin Austin touchdown grab finished the drive off. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Cincinnati set to take over once again. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air and defensively. They were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. Now it's Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
That is caught, and he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal first down.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
To the air again, Burrow. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Burrow looking to pass. Open man is Yoshivas. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 44-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
It's complete to Brown, right side. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be second down. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 25-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. Now 2nd and 4. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Another try from the 14 on 2nd and 10. Burrow. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And now the focus is really clear. They need to get that first down and either get out of bounds or maybe use one of those timeouts.
Well, this crowd is making an impact right now. 3rd and 10. Burrow. He's got Higgins over the middle. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. It's T. Higgins with a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow. And the Bengals have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
They get one more as the extra point's up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. A handoff for Warren. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Rodgers to throw. That is intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Oh my, how the tables have turned now. They were trying to salt this one away, but that interception, potentially a game changer.
And I've just got to think to myself, at this point of the game, I know you've been aggressive. I know that's your MO, and that's fine. And all those teams that talk about all gas, no brakes, you better have the emergency lever to pull occasionally. They could have used it right there. They put themselves in a tough spot with that interception.
The Bengals offense and Joe Burrow getting set for this next drive. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Throwing, Burrow. He will find his man Chase complete. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
Oh, what a play, but he couldn't get out of bounds. And you've got no timeouts. They've got to get to the line of scrimmage and spike it.
This offense cannot stop the clock now. No timeouts remaining as they come up here 1st down. Throw out wide is incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Now Burrow. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. And a great game comes down to this. Time for one play, and they've got to get it in the end zone.
And I want every cover guy I've got in the game on defense, every extra defensive back who can make a play on the football. So whether it's nickel, dime, quarter, whatever you want to call it, I want 5, 6, 7 guys back there.
A final shot now for Burrow. Now he'll escape to his left. And he'll only get this to the 17, well shy of what he needed.
This one came right down to the wire, and CD, they had that one final chance to try to navigate their way into the end zone, but couldn't get it done to avoid the loss.
Yeah, and how about the defense there? Because while they had one final look at the end zone, the defense made sure they knew what they were doing on the last play, executed it flawlessly, and no flags. Because remember, if there's a defensive penalty, there's one play left in the game that the offense gets. They didn't allow that to happen.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.